all E47s and free-flowing exhaust. What's up guys, it's Alex, and today I'm gonna play around with the white car a little bit. Now why am I gonna play around with the white car? Well, about 2 or 3 months ago, the car, it's been on pump gas. For those of you that don't know anything about the white car, 2019 Mustang manual. It's got a V3 supercharger on it, Vortech V3, and about 2 or 3 months ago, I started noticing the car starting weird. Like it just turned on differently than I was used to. So I'm like, what's going on with your car? Obviously I don't have the inlet on, and I'll explain why in a second. So after driving it around for a while, I don't know, I just noticed that it wasn't driving to its full potential. Made good power, but again, it's a daily driver. I don't dyno it. I don't go to the track often at all. The car has never been to the track. I just do 60 to 130 and I just drive it everywhere, you know? But it started to start weird, meaning you go to start, it goes jigga 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 jung. When you know, you're used to your car and it goes jigga jigga jigga, you know? This thing will go jigga 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 jigga. It would kind of have a bit of a stutter. Hey, what's going on with you, buddy? So after looking around and everything, I took the inlet tube off to see if there's any leaks or anything going on with it. And I noticed there was a decent amount of oil on the intake tube. I gotta see where the intake tube is. It might be in the trunk. Yep. So, notice that on the intake tube, there's a decent amount of oil built up on the inside of the intake tube. Stuff in between my legs. And there's oil. So I thought, well, the oil must be coming from the breather. All right, this guy. Here we go, right here. So this guy would go onto the tube, right? Just go on there, and this guy is the IMRC stuff, but again, you can leave them open if you don't run the tube. So I started noticing, because this does not have a catch can, how much oil can potentially get accumulated and pushed into the blower. So I said, okay, let me eliminate that, right? So once I eliminated that from the equation, I should just take this boot off. Once I eliminated that from the equation, the car felt stronger, but it was making almost a little too much boost for pump gas, right? It was only a 10 PSI, because this is a 3.6 pulley, so it was only making about 10 to 11 PSI, but these centrifugals can really get it. Like they legit can get it. This is only a Vortech V3. Right there, a little Vortech V3 JT, and they can get it. They can actually whip up a decent amount of power. So this car made about 700 rear horsepower pump gas, which in my opinion is too much, because one day you can get a good batch of pump gas, the other day you might not get the best batch of pump gas. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to put some C16 in this car and rag it out. Why? Because after noticing how it starts, I started noticing it wasn't feeling all that great. I said, Jake, let's do a compression test. And number 7, not the one, number 8, this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, bank 1, bank 2. So number 7, the third one down, was down 15%. So I'm like, well, I must have popped a ring line or something based on crappy pump gas being in there. Again, guys, if it was E85 or race gas all the time, I wouldn't care. I don't care. But it's not race gas in E85 all the time. So I said, screw it. It's probably hurt already, so I'm not really gonna care. I don't race it. I just drive it around, and it's not affecting it adversely. So let me just drive it around. So after a little while, I said, you know what? I was able to come across another Gen 3 engine. Jake from Power by the Hour got me another Gen 3 engine. And I said, you know what? Let's rag this sucker out. And if it blows up, who cares? Like, who cares? The clutch has 31,000 miles on it. It probably needs replacing. I got a shifter and a clutch from a fan. Thank you very much. And I said, why not just rag it out and see what it can do? See what goes first. Is the motor going to go first? Is the clutch going to go first? And what am I going to do? I'm going to put C16 in the car. I bought 3 jugs of C16 right here. Why C16? Well, it's a dense fuel, and this car does not have a fuel system. So I said, well, let me get C16 in the car, which is like a 14.7 Stoic. And with a booster pump and FIC 1440s, I might be even able to pulley down to make more boost. Which then brings me to my recent purchase from Team Beefcake Racing. A 3.3 6-rib Vortech pulley. This should make about 14 PSI. And every single time I've tuned a car with a 3.3 race gas or E85, it makes about 800 to 830 rear wheel horsepower. So, according to everything I looked up on the internet, you should be able to use the same belt if you reposition the tensioner, because it has adjustable holes down there. And according to Schrader Performance, I don't need one of the bolts here as a spacer. I can just remove it because it's rigid enough, and it should make my belt switching life a little easier. But we'll see what I can do to loosen the tension, put a 3.3 pulley on, put C16 in the tank, tune it aggressively. Now understand this, guys, that is a 3.3 pulley. I'll show you the 3.3 pulley. 3.3 pulley. All right, I have other pulleys. Yeah, I'm a psycho. Where are they? Oh, a shitload of pulleys. Where you at? Here we go. Yeah, I'm about that life. God damn it, I got all this shit. So, I have a 347 8-rib, a 3.8, which is a stock pulley 3.8, 347, 3.3, and the murder death kill pulley 2.95 8-rib. I'm not gonna put any of these guys on. I'm gonna put this guy on, C16 in it. I got about a quarter tank of E85 in it, so I'm gonna drive it around, get rid of it, put C16 in it, tune it aggressively. Right, I flashed the tune on it, so now I'm gonna fill up with C16. Get about 10 gallons in it. Oof, I think it's dirty. The inlet's dirty. I'm gonna get about 10 gallons in it. Go out and take it for a rip a little bit just to see what it does. This thing was dirty as shit. So I think the car went 770, 60 to 130 last time. So the goal is to beat that. The car's gonna stay on 20s, R888s, just like it did last time. And if I want to get froggy later on, I'll throw the 17-inch drag radials on it, just for the hell of it. For now, let's just kind of do it this way. You guys realize how much of a pain in the ass it is just to put fuel in the car with these jugs? Like, whoever makes these jugs, like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, seriously, you have to pour this into another container so that you're able to put the gas in it normally. It dribbles everywhere. It's garbage. Just to put gas in a race car costs you $100 because you got to buy the jugs, the proper nozzles, everything. It's so annoying. Like, build proper shit. Unreal. So what I'm gonna do, I flashed the C16 tune on, so I'm just gonna let the car idle for a little bit. It's like a bluish tint to it. Buzzing here is the exhaust rubbing somewhere. Again, all about getting work done elsewhere. That's over. I'll work on my own shit. Enough of that. Wasted money so I can do the job again. Okay, I think I got it. So let's take a look at what needed to happen to replace the 3.6 pulley. Is it 3.6? Boy. Yeah, it's a 3.6, yeah, because the other one's smaller and the belt went on easier. Okay, first of all, that guy right there, if you look, the stock tensioner, which I'll try to sneak in here, that guy right there, let me point. This guy right here, This guy is the stock tensioner. You relieve the tension, and what I did was I left the 1/2-inch wrench in there and wrapped the belt around the socket to give it a little slack. Then I took it off the top, no problem. Undid this bolt, undid the 4 bracket bolts holding the blower to the bracket, and didn't take the whole blower off. I just cocked it back and was able to sneak it out. There was a little stud here that was preventing me from bringing the pulley all the way out. I zipped it off with a Sawzall really quick, and it gave me that extra 1/8 inch of clearance that I needed. Then this guy right here, you see how it's on the 2nd hole from the left? Well, it used to be on the 3rd hole from the left. Now I moved it over 1. I might be able to get away with 1 more, but I'm not 100% because I think the pulley is gonna rub on the dowel behind it. Back here, I'm thinking that pulley, see the pulley, how close it is to that dowel? If I bring it over 1 more, it might be a problem. And then after I relieved the tension, I'm sorry, when I put the tension, put the belt back on and put everything on there, it was pretty damn tight. I mean, I'm telling you, the tension is pretty damn legit. So let's start it up and see if the belt flies off, and you'll see it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. I did install something right in terms of the MAF. The MAF is hooked up. Yep, MAF is hooked up. This is hooked up. Throttle's hooked up. Belt's staying, so that's good. Why aren't you starting? All I did was, maybe this guy's cocked underneath. No? That's good. Interesting. Why isn't it starting up? This is Lucy. Let's see if I can keep it running until the wide bands come on, and then I'll data log it to see if there's some kind of leak or something. The car is still showing that it has E85 in the system, so that's how long it takes to get the E85 off of it. Let me double check that bolt. Just shut it off and double check that bolt. But yeah, it's showing it still has E85 in the system. Why? Because it's trimming super lean. So I think it still has E85 in the system, so I'm gonna keep it running until that guy gets down, to something normal. I'll double check the tune to make sure the tune's on point, but I still think there's E85 in the system. And just like that, my short-term fuel trims have stabilized. No freaking out. No, oh my god, Alex, let me email him, it's fucked up. No, I knew there was a lot of E85 in the lines and in the system, so I just sat here patiently until it worked its way through. All right, let's go out there and give it a little data logging session, make sure the belt's not slipping, and then we'll do some 60 to 130 testing. Look at that. That's just bullshit. Let me rev it up, watch it come back down. Oh yeah, no problemo, baby, no problemo. Okay, so I got myself another Engage. Why? Because this is an old 012 unit, very old, and the screen started to act up, and I don't want to have any issues data logging. So I'm like you guys, I don't get free Engages. I bought every car I have has an Engage, so any Engage can data log any Ford vehicle. So I'm gonna stick this Engage in there, and I'm gonna data log with it, and I'm only gonna use the other Engage to flash with, because that's all it's good for. Even though it takes a little while to get the screen to get it to flash, it's a big pain in the ass. But I'm gonna data log, key on, diagnostics, data log, boom, 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 nice and quick. Is there a 18 and up? Nah, it's an 11 and up generic. 11 and up works, normal mode. Boy, that thing works really good. Start data logging, drive it. What I'm gonna do is a 3,000 to 6,000 RPM hit in third, just like I would ask you to do. If that looks good, 3 to 7,000 RPMs. If that looks good, full send to 7,800. We'll see with timing, air charge temps. That's the other thing. Smaller pulley size, more boost, higher IAT, but it's cool out. It's 73 degrees in Florida, so it might do okay. Let's start logging. Let's go for a ride. It starts, does it stay running? It stays running. Okay, let's get out of here. Feels good. There's not much better smelling fuel than C16. I know a lot of you can say it's leaded, it's gonna kill your O2s. I'm not gonna run it a long time. I'm probably gonna run it for a day or two and go back to pump gas. Or depending if the motor lasts this flogging session, splurge a little bit for a fuel system, make the red car the daily for a little bit until I can figure out, you know, if this motor's gonna make it or not. Because like I said, the reason I'm doing all of this is because the motor's hurt, and the motor being hurt makes me care a lot less. I have a spare clutch ready to go. I have an aftermarket shifter in case the clutch decides to go, so I can install everything at the same time. But I'm data logging now, making sure everything looks good, do a short walk, pull over, review the log, just like I would do with you guys. And if it looks good, we'll start doing wide open throttle pulls. Yeah, I'm gonna do a 3,000 to 6,000 RPM hit. It's data logging, been data logging the whole time. So. Coming on good, but stop the log there, review the log quick, and go from there. Pull off to the side here. Here in Mexico, there's a lot of these roads that have like a cutoff in the middle, so you can kind of, you know, stop and do your thing. So I'm just gonna double check the data log quick. Okay, looking at the data log real quick, all the way to the end. Bam, bam. That's a nice looking log. Let's see, pedal to the floor, throttle to the floor. Timing slammed at 20 degrees, right where I want it. Load, air load is honking. 1.78 air load at 6,000 RPMs is moving serious air. So short-term fuel trims aren't too happy. It's almost like the car's under, no, here we go, that was under D-cell. Yeah, wow, short-term fuel trims, 0.79 lambda. Short-term fuel trims within 2%. Not even going to change a tune. Let's just put the SD card back in the logger, aka the N-gauge, and let's go to right to 7,500. But I'll monitor short-term fuel trims, you know, live, because I can just look over them and be okay. And let's fuck it. We're doing it live. Boom. Record data log. No, is it? No, I gotta reboot the N-gauge, because once you take the SD card out, reboot everything. Oh, normal mode. Third gear. Let's go to 7,500 and I'll monitor short-term fuel trims live. Start logging. Let's keep the window up a little bit. Let's see how it goes. This thing fucking scoots like no one's business. Oh my god, that felt very good. So what I'm expecting from the data log is air load to be in the 1.9 range. That means it's moving a lot of air, close to 14 or 15 psi on this setup. I can kind of guess based on experience. I'm looking at timing to be about 20 to 21 degrees. I'm looking at the knock sensors to be happy, and if all looks good, 60 to 130 times. I think the best this car did before was 7.6 on a 3.6 pulley on E85 with the fuel pressure dropping like a rock. I do have some weight in the back to make sure that, you know, wheel spin is minimal. So let me go take a look at the log real quick. Again, what I'm looking for is like 1.8 to 1.9 air load, 20 degrees of timing, no knock. So, ooh, yeah, look at that. Whoa, 2.02 air load. This thing is not slipping the belt. That's the key. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record it with my phone so you can get a better look at what I'm talking about. Okay, so that you know what I'm talking about. So this is short-term fuel trims, and you can see on the left here, this is the, 1.0 is like perfect. So at wide open throttle, it's like 0.96, and then it gets a little rich up top. When you graph that rich, quote-unquote rich, it's about 7% at bank 1. Bank 2 is pretty much on the money. 0.78, 0.79 lambda. It's a little on the rich side, but that's okay. Look at the MAF frequency. It's moving serious there. 118 mile an hour on third gear. 2.02 load, air load means, so when it comes to air load, the reason I look, where the fuck is the mouse? Here you go. The reason I look at air load is to check for belt slip. I don't see any belt slip happening here. The other way to check for belt slip is MAF frequency. MAF frequency dropped off a little bit way up top there, but what RPM was that? Yeah, 70. I think I went up to 8,000 like a fucking hoon idiot. Let me see. Bam. Yeah, I went to 8,073. Okay. All right. Time to get some 60 to 130 pulls in because the car seems to be doing well. What are air charge temps? IAT, air charge temp. 118, 122 max. Dude, not a problem. All right, let's do some 60 to 130. We'll see if I can get a 60 to 130, take off slow, and if it starts recording, I'll do a hit 60 to 130. See if I can get into the 7s. I've never gone into the 7s 60 to 130 with this car, so we'll see how everything goes. There he goes, recording now. So. Look at that, 7.23. That is a half second quicker, 60 to 130 than E85 and a 3.6 pulley. And I didn't blow it up yet. Okay, let me take a look at the log and make sure everything looks good. And wow, a half second quicker, 60 to 130 with C16, a 3.3 pulley. And I would have never tried this if it wasn't already hurt. Do you know what I'm saying? The motor's hurt. It's down a little compression on number 7. Oh, C16 smells so fucking awesome. Let me go take a look at the log quick. This is kind of what I mean when I tell you guys everything I do is alone. I'm logging, I install the pulley, put the fuel, change the tune, data log, make the pulls, record it, edit it, the whole 9 yards. So. And do you know how much this video costs? You don't want to know how much you know how expensive C16 fuel is at a retail price? I'm gonna have to start buying it in the 55-gallon drum. It was not cheap. Between the fuel and the pulley, I'm into this video $400. $400 because retail pricing is what you deal with. So as we can see, the clutch is complaining a little bit on the shift. The RPMs, actually the mile an hour didn't climb. It kind of flattened out and then came back up, telling me that there's a potential clutch slip issue happening, but no big deal. I knew, this on borrowed time. It's 31,000 miles on this clutch, but the 1.2, we're looking at good fuel trims, good AFR. We're looking at 20 degrees of timing. We're looking at the air charge temps of 93 degrees. Very, very good. Dude, everything is on the money. Let's look at the fuel trims when we graph them up against RPM and mile an hour. Yeah, it's trending on the rich side, but that's okay. I'm not gonna trip because it's only about 5% rich on one bank and 3% rich on the other. 5%, 3%. Okay. I mean 7.2 from 7.7, I think. So third gear, advanced track off, draggy hit, 60 to 130. And see how one shift affects it versus 2. Data logging, video, so many things to do. Clutch slip. Hard on the brakes in case someone's watching. 763. So starting in third gear with a Paxton, that needs RPM to really start making some power. This is not twin turbo where it makes nut down low, or a TVS where it makes nut, or TVS, or even a Whipple that makes nut down low. This thing needs RPM. So you're gonna have to start off in second in a similarly equipped vehicle to get your best 60 to 130 time. Good test. 4/10 difference. Wow. Well, I think that's it for the video. That was the main test. Get it on C16, see how the car reacts to C16 and a 3.3 pulley, get myself familiar with the pulley configuration, with the belt, with the idlers, with the whole nine. It's not that difficult. I'd say difficulty for a guy mechanically inclined is a 5. It's not really that hard to change the pulley on these things. You don't have to take the head unit off. You just have to move it out of the way a little bit. Aside from that, pretty straightforward. The tuning, C16, 20 degrees, 21 degrees, seems to be on the money. I have other pulleys, but I'm not willing to rag it out because it's probably making 800 wheel with this current setup. I might take it to the track with some slicks and some small diameter tires and see how it performs then. But for now, thank you for joining along with this 60 to 130 test with a 3.3 pulley on a V3 JT with a 2019 Mustang with compression down 15% or so on the number 7 cylinder. Thanks for listening, guys. Talk to you later.